Because of Mr. Chirruped by Rob Rua. Setting ranges from the classroom to snowy field to the hospital room to Anna's house. It's the start of 5th grade for 7 kids at Snow Hill School. There's Jessica, the new kid, who's having a hard time fitting in, but she's smart and perceptive. There's Alexa, the bully. Your friend 1 second, I need the next. Peter, the class prankster. Luke, the brain. Danielle, who never stands up for herself. Anna, whose home situation makes her an outcast. And Jeffrey, who's very quiet and doesn't talk to anyone, and he hates school. And then there's Mr. Chirruped. He knows how to deal with them all. He makes his classroom a fun place for a while. The story starts with Peter, who is thinking to himself that he doesn't like teachers and that all he can do about it is hope for a good one and a new one who doesn't know the rules, instead of a mean old fart who knows the rules and who doesn't let you get away with anything. Peter sees that the bathroom pass is free. Then all he does is mess around in the bathroom for a while. And since Peter knew Mr. Chirrup was a rookie, he didn't think he'd catch him. But Mr. Chirrup does catch him. But he doesn't do it and make a big scene about it. That's what Peter likes about Mr. Chirrup. Mr. Chirrup just tells Peter that he'll call him Peter or Peter Peabody. Peter's happy. He likes a new teacher. Jessica's starting at her new school and is extremely nervous. She has sweaty palms and a dry throat. Her mom comes to help her get set up. They talk to the secretary, and she points them in the direction of Mr. Chirrup's classroom. Jessica follows the principal through the locker room, where kids look at her, and she gets even more nervous. Then she walks into her classroom. Hi, I'm Mr. Chirrup, the teacher says after smiling at Jessica. Jessica starts to feel a little better and looks at Mr. Chirrup smile. She thinks he looks very friendly. Mr. Chirrup then tells Jessica that he's new too, and that they could figure out things together. That makes Jessica feel a whole lot better. Mr. Chirrup tells Jessica where to sit and that he likes the book she's holding. She begins to really like this teacher and to like this school. She's even happier when Mr. Chirrup tells her that he likes happy endings, and she tells him she does too when she's reading her book. Jessica becomes super happy, and she thinks things are finally going to be okay. Luke likes school. He's really good at it. He gets all A's. So he was really excited when Mr. Chirrup announced their first math project. They were supposed to make dollar words, and it was not a worksheet problem, Luke. First they had to learn that a letter A was close to 2 cents and how much all the other letters cost. Then their challenge was to find a word that was worth $1. Luke was excited, and he got right to work when Mr. Chirrup gave them time to get started. He wanted to make sure they understood the project, but Luke understood it fine. Mr. Chirrup put up a board for all the kids to put their dollar words on. Luke was the first one to find a dollar word by adding an S on the word buttocks. After 3 weeks, Luke had 54 dollar words. Mr. Chirrup tells him he's the dollar word champ. Alexa doesn't really know what to think about the new teacher. But she began to realize that Mr. Turp was nice. He let them sit in tables and not in rows. She says like a lot. She thought it was really great that she got to sit beside her friend Danielle. Then she started thinking about the new girl, Jessica. She wasn't at Alexa's table, but Alexa wanted to talk to Jessica. Alexa needed to tell her who she could be friends with. Jessica seemed like she could be pretty cool, even if she carried a book around like a teddy bear. Alexa found Jessica at recess. Alexa found Jessica sitting on the steps of the gazebo, reading a book. Alexa was thinking then that Jessica was a loser, but she talked to her anyways. She started saying hi, and then she started telling her what she needed to tell Jessica, that she can help her find good friends and help her out with who is nice and mean. And then Alexa tells Jessica that she shouldn't be friends with Danielle because she's fat and she's weird and saying mean things about Jessica. Then she leaves Jessica and recess ends. Jeffrey hates school. He doesn't like going to it, and this year he really hated it because he had to deal with Alexa and her other bullies again. But he would try to make the best of it. Danielle doesn't think her class is that great. She thinks that eventually her class is going to be nice and even funny. But it's not that great when she doesn't have friends. She knows that Alexa has done this to her before. Being mean, left her out. And Danielle hates how Alexa keeps telling fat jokes about Danielle. And then suddenly, Alexa started ignoring Danielle out in the playground. She talked to other people, but just ignored Alexa. Alexa was also a little heavy, she said. She just had a little grow into her body, but her grandparents say it's going to happen. She thinks it's not fair because the rest of her family isn't fat. One day, Jessica saw Danielle drawing in the dirt. So Jessica went over to her and asked her a question. Hi, are you okay? No, Alexa's not my friend, and it's all your fault, Danielle yelled at Jessica. Then she pushed her stick into the ground so hard it snapped in half. Jessica said, I'm sorry. Danielle said, it's not your fault. I shouldn't have snapped at you like that. Hey, can I draw with you? Jessica asked Danielle. Sure, and they draw together. At the end of recess, they walked back to class. But then Alexa stops Jessica and asks her why she's playing with Danielle. Jessica says, well, she's a nice girl. There's no reason I can't be playing with her. Alexa got mad at her and stormed off. After that, Alexa met Danielle in the bathroom. Alexa told Danielle, why were you hanging out with Jessica? She's been calling you names like fat and stuff like that. Danielle started to cry. Jessica gave her a hug, but that didn't make Danielle feel at all better. Then Alexa checked her makeup and walked out. One day the kids had to do a project. The project was that they'd be put into groups and were supposed to write about Christmas culture from other places in the world. They were put into four groups of five. Yeah, 4 groups of 5. While Peter and Luke were put into another group, Alexa was bossing everyone around in her group and calling them names and saying mean things. Alexa said to the whole group, I think Danielle should be in charge of foods. After all, she's so fat. Danielle put her head down, and the rest of the kids said nothing. And Danielle went on and on bullying them. Then Mr. Turp came and told Alexa, I think it's time for you to come into the hall with me. But Alexa wasn't worried. She had dealt with this kind of stuff with teachers before. She had a plan. Though she didn't know Mr. Turp knew it. So Alexa said, "Oh, Mr. Turp, they were being so mean to me. I was just protecting myself." Mr. Turp said, "Stop. I've watched you for 10 minutes being mean to those kids. Leave them alone, or there's going to be deeper consequences." Alexa started to cry. Then Mr. Turp said, "I like you, Lexi, but I need you to like other kids. Okay, now go to the washroom, get cleaned up, and come back to class. I don't want to hear another bad peep from you." Then Mr. Turp went and talked to the other kids. "I saw Alexa being mean to you. You need to stand up to her, or else it's just going to get worse. You guys know each other, and you need to stand up for each other. Do you hear me?" "Yes," they all said. Then Alexa came back in, but she was totally silent. Alexa didn't say anything else for weeks. Not in front of the whole class, not in front of anyone. Nothing. She kept her head down, didn't joke around with Peter, and was quiet. One day, Mr. Turp called a class meeting. "Well, we've almost reached our chain link to the floor." The chain link was something Mr. Turp had put up at the beginning of the year, and whenever their class accomplished something, they got another chain link. And when it touched the floor, they would have a party. So, Mr. Turp asked the kids, "What do you kids want to do for your party?" Nothing much. I talked to the principal, and maybe we could get to go outside and play in the snow. The school was a lot in the snow. It had been too icy. Peter suggested that other than the snow, before they went up in the snow, they could invite the kids from the collaborative classroom to come have a little party with them and do some games. The whole class agreed with this. Soon they had another chain link on the floor. So after their party in the classroom, the kids went outside. They're wearing their snow boots, snow pants, jackets, coats, and mitts. And we're having lots of fun. Though Mr. Turp gave one rule: no snowballs. But Peter had already stuffed a perfect snowball in his pocket. He didn't want to drop it. He thought it was too good. And then, as a prank, since Peter had made Luke mad once, Luke kicked Peter into a snowbank. And then other kids kicked snow in his face and stuff like that. And then Peter, getting angry, threw a snowball. Since he couldn't see, he didn't know where the snowball went. It hit Mr. Turp and put him in a coma. Peter ran to get help. Anna held Mr. Turp's head so he wouldn't get cold. Jessica went for an ice pack. Luke went with her. The kids hurried around Mr. Turp and tried to help him. They didn't know what had happened. Later, the principal came into the classroom and announced that Mr. Turp had been put into a coma. The kids were devastated. They didn't want anything bad to happen. It had only been one snowball. And lots of the people at school liked Mr. Turp. So one day, Luke went to the hospital to see Mr. Turp. Luke walked in with his mom. Mr. Turp was lying in a thin bed and was silent, with all those machines buzzing around him. Luke was terrified. He thought it looked so horrible that he couldn't do it. He ran out. One day, Danielle, Jessica, and Anna were at her house. They were going to go to the hospital and see Mr. Turp. They were with Anna for a few minutes, then they went into the car and drove with her to the hospital. But when they walked in, they saw Alexa talking to Mr. Turp. She was saying, I'm trying to be nice, Mr. Turrupt. I wasn't so